Now let's continue with prayer and prophecy, but we're going to do Numbers chapter 24. So in 24, we see that Balak would not take no for an answer. So once again, he thought that by moving Balaam to a different place, he could induce the prophet to curse the Israelites. And of course, he was once again disappointed because Balaam's visions gave him a special understanding of the future. So he couldn't curse the Israelites because God didn't want him to. So we start at verse 1. Since Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel, he did not go to seek omens, or as on previous occasions, but turned toward the wilderness. When Balaam looked up and saw Israel encamped tribe by tribe, the Spirit of God came upon him and proclaimed this poem, which I'm going to read now: the oracle of Balaam, son of Beor, the oracle of man whose eyes are opened, the oracle of one who hears the sayings of God, who sees a vision from the Almighty, who falls into a trance with his eyes uncovered. How beautiful are your tents, Jacob, your dwelling, Israel. They search out like river valley. They stretch out like river valleys, like gardens beside a stream, like aloes the Lord had planted, like cedars beside the water. Water will flow from his buckets, and his seed will be by abundant water. His king will be greater than Agag, and his kingdom will be exalted. God brought him out of Egypt. He is like the horns of a wild ox for them. So God protects Israel's chosen people like horns of a wild ox. Okay. He will feed on enemy nations and gnaw their bones. He will strike them with his arrows. He crouches, he lies down like a lion or a lioness. Who dares to rouse him? Those who bless you will be blessed, and those who curse you will be cursed. So on verse 10, here we go. Then Balak became furious with Balaam, struck his hands together, and said to him, I summoned you to put a curse on my enemies, but instead you have blessed them these 3 times. Now go to your home. I say I would reward you richly, but look, the Lord has denied you a reward. So then Balaam answered Balak, didn't I previously tell the messengers you sent, if Balak were to give me his whole house full of silver and gold, I could not go against the Lord's command to do anything good or bad of my own will. I will say whatever the Lord says. Now I am going back to my people, but first let me warn you. So let me, Balaam, warn you, Balak, who these people, being the Israelites, will do to your people, which are the Moabs, in the future. So here is the 4th oracle, the 4th poem in the prayer and prophecy that we're doing. This is number 36. Okay, then here on verse 15, then he proclaimed this poem. So the oracle of Balaam, son of Beor, the oracle of man whose eyes are open, the oracle of those who hears the sayings of the Lord, the sayings of God, and has knowledge from the Most High, who sees a vision from the Almighty, who falls into a trance with his eyes uncovered. I see him, but not now. I perceive him, but not near. A star will come from Jacob. A scepter will arise from Israel. So here, these predict the rise of David and the coming Messiah, which is Jesus, Christ of Nazareth. He will smash the forehead of Moab and strike down all the Shithites. Edom will become a possession. Seir will become a possession of its enemies. But Israel will be triumphant. One who comes from Jacob will rule. He will destroy the city's survivors. Then on verse 20, then Balaam saw Amalek and proclaimed this poem, which is poem number 5. So Amalek was first among the nations, but his future is destruction. Wow. Then you go to verse 21. Next he saw the Kenites and proclaimed his poem. Your dwelling place is enduring. Your nest is set in the cliffs. Cain will be destroyed with Ashur when Asher takes you captive. So then you have verse 23. Once more he proclaimed this poem. Ah, who can live with God? Who can live when God does this? Ships will come from the coast of Kittim. They will carry out raids against Ashur and Iber, but they too will come to destruction. So Balaam then arose and went back to his homeland, and Balak also went his way.